This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. The painting that was used in the opening credits of the 70s sitcom Good Times just sold for $15.3 million, which is 76 times more than they thought they were going to get for this painting.
Whoa. Oh, that's like 15 million times more than I thought the painting would go. I have no idea anything about this painting.
Yeah, I do remember this painting, and it is only because of the fact I watched Good Times, and it was at the beginning of the it was the beginning of the opening credits. Also, it was used as the cover of Marvin Gaye's 1976 album "I Want You." And what I didn't know is that it's actually a pretty famous painting. I for some reason I thought it was done for the show.
Yeah, and
only because there was a painting done on the for the characters of the show, which they also show in the opening credits. It looks similar to Ernie Barnes' style, but I don't know if he did that painting I'm thinking of all the characters. The one that's sold for 15.6 F3 is it's called Sugar Shack, and
so
it's got a bunch of people dancing. And it's I love that painting style. It is just, it's a jazzy paint style to me. It just makes me feel like, it's jazz club style painting.
It does look like something you go like some random like kind of hole in the wall bar that has like cool jazz music playing. There's like a random velvet painting. It has that kind of vibe to it. But I'm like, who's buying that? Is that a massive Good Times fan? A big Marvin Gaye fan? An art aficionado? Like, that just seems like a lot of money to drop on a random painting.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know a lot about Ernie Barnes. It could be also that, Ernie Barnes is, like a lot of his work is famous. I mean, I'm not an art gallery guy, so I don't have a clue. But, in honor of the painting, I think we should play the Good Times TV theme, which, of course, is not a painting, but hey, it's a good show.
Buying an expensive painting. Good times. $76 million. Good times. Good times. If we lucky, we got 'em. Good times.
If you could, I don't know, whatever you think is the most powerful, important show of your lifetime, whatever that might be.
Small Wonder.
Small Wonder. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Did they do paintings for Small Wonder?
No, they introduced us to AI.
But these Norman Lear sitcoms, man, were they were unbelievable. And they were a staple of my life. I was 16 back in those days, in 1976. And, man.
Yeah, Good Times was not really, it was in syndication, so I did, it was on, but it always felt like an old person show because it was just like, it was pretty much the decade before I was able to enjoy television.
Growing up in Boston, which was a very racist place, and I was surrounded by a lot of racist people, no doubt about it, that show really affected me. It affected me in a positive way because I got to see pretty much that everything that my authority figures in my life were saying, it was completely wrong. that show showed me like, well, no, these are people just like me. Well, I don't know why the idiots in my life are saying what they're saying, as well as seeing the struggles of them having to live with idiots like the people that were trying to tell me stuff. It was such an amazing show. I'm
trying to think if I even...
Yeah. It was that
J.J. Walker?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
Dynamite.
Okay, I have seen
Esther Roll was in it, and John Amos. I mean, there was some great talent in that show. Just great talent.
And a great theme song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The theme song, the writing, those sitcoms. I mean, Norman Lear, think of anybody. I don't know. Think of anybody who you think is a creative genius. Like right now, I think Taika Waititi. No, well, yeah. I think, Rev, you would argue probably Taika Waititi right now is the it guy for making shows.
Yeah, for a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, really powerful shows. I mean, Taika does a great job with so many things that he does, and Norman Lear and the people involved with his shows, that's what it was for me back then. Everything he touched was gold.
And you were wondering about the other painting because you mentioned the fact that there was a painting that had like the cast.
Yes.
And that was also done by Ernie Barnes. He did all the artwork that was used for this series.
What does that go for? I mean,
no idea, yeah.
That painting's got to be, because that's the cast. I would love to own that if I was on the show, I'd be like, Ernie, I got to take this home. But
so I was looking online to see like who's buying this. I don't know who Bill Perkins is, but he's verified on Instagram. He has
wow. Is he an art dude, I wonder?
I don't think he's an author. He has a book.
Wow.
Called Die with Zero. It sounds like he's a money guy.
Yeah, he's a hedge fund manager, film producer, and high-stakes poker player from Houston, Texas.
Okay, so this is part of his portfolio.
He posted a picture of him with that art, and it just said, "A childhood dream come true happened tonight. #art. #lucky AF. I'm so rich I could buy art." No, you're right, that part. I just made that up.
So he was so he loved the show, and now he's got that's a ridiculous amount of money. He's got that original copy.
Either loved the show or maybe he's a massive music head and loves Marvin. Was it Marvin Gaye you said?
Yeah.
Because that was just an album cover. It could be either.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. Don't know which one it is. But very, very cool.
I do love that somebody wrote on his Instagram, just said, "Did you buy this?" And his response was, "Yes." And then someone else wrote, "What do you have, 15.2 million in the couch cushion?"
Yeah, but it is an investment. That's the thing. I mean, it's, people talk about real estate and stocks and bonds. Well, art is also an investment if you've got the money because there are things that do go up in value and then you sell them and they sell them to somebody else.
But you said it went 76% more or 76 times more?
Yeah.
Dude, which means he must have been in a bidding war with someone else who really wanted it.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, did he do it for an investment or is he rich AF and just like you said, childhood dream, I'm going to get this?
He's a hedge fund guy. He's probably rich as all hell. And I would spend that sounds like if I'm like 100 millionaire, that sounds like a stupid purchase I would make. We talk about impulse buys.
Yeah, all my stupid purchases have already been made and they were done by Paul Allen.
You can't get that Star Trek chair anymore.
Yeah, everything that I would buy, it's like, oh yeah, Paul Allen did that. Right. So if you want to know what I would do with a ridiculous amount of money, just to go to the Mopop and you'll see what I would do.
From all the art auctions I've ever watched on television, I have to feel that Steve was on the nose with just the fact that it got into a bidding war between two people. They're just holding up their paddles and they're just staring at each other. It's like, I'm not going to lose this. And then suddenly, $15 million later, the guy's like,
what the hell did I just do?
Exactly.
I want to know what the last bid was, like where the guy said, that's it, this is my limit. Like how far above was that 15.3 that he said, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like throat cutting motion.
If you're at 14.9, you're going to stop? It's like, you can't stop. I'm at 14.9, I'm not going to, you got to keep going, right?
And does your significant other, does this Bill guy's wife, because he has a picture with her next to him, is she kind of pulling on his shirt being like, you really going to drop that kind of money on this? Or is she thinking, well, that just means I get a really nice purse in exchange because
either way, she's probably in good shape. If he's got the kind of money that because he's got to pay it. So if he actually could take that painting home, well, then they're probably in good shape. I think she's like, all right, honey, whatever. But you're right.
There's no struggles to pay bills if you're buying this piece of art, I'd hope.
But as a spouse, you're right, Steve. I am getting something I want because it's like, okay, you got your TV show dream come true for 15.3 mil. So
I want a Lamborghini, and it's still cheaper than what you just purchased.
Yeah. I think
buy a couple of them,
right?
I'm good to go to any store I want, honey.
Buy a fleet of them.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. I mean, I really can appreciate that if, in fact, he loved that show so much that he thought that was, because it is a cool painting.
It'd be funny if he came home with it and she's like, where do you think you're going to put that? Like, kind of how my wife would be with, like, can I have something? I'm like, I got this cool thing. It's autographed by a member of Pearl Jam. You going to put that in the garage? I'm like, okay, I'll put my $76 million or $15 million piece of art in the garage. Although his garage is probably nicer than all of our homes.
Oh, yeah. And bigger.
Not probably,
bigger.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that garage. I'll live there.
Right?
I live there.
I want to see other stuff in his home. Because this morning, I almost got distracted. Like, you ever, you're on YouTube and you just, what the hell am I watching this for? I have a show to get ready for. And that was, this morning, I'm watching, it's not Cribs, but it's like Cribs, but it was on Travis Barker of Blink-182.
Oh, I just saw that. I saw that show up. Yes. His house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, does he have a nice house?
Is it Architectural Digest?
Yes.
I've told you about those guys, AD.
Well, I had no interest in the show until they mentioned Travis Barker, because then he shows his little home studio he has, the pool. He apparently is big into, was it matcha?
Matcha, the green stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, matcha.
Oh, like the tea stuff?
According to his Kardashian wife lady, or whoever the hell she is. Yeah. She was just like, he makes the best matcha. I'm like,
it makes a lot more sense.
And he's wearing a weird spacesuit while he's doing it. I'm like, what is happening to you, Travis? You are way off the deep end.
I've watched a lot of the AD. I've watched a lot of the Architectural Digest stuff. Is it a cool house to check out?
Yes.
Because Gwyneth Paltrow, I've checked her house out. I've checked out Robert Downey Jr.'s house on that show. I've checked out Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. His house is ridiculous in Idaho.
Nice.
It's nuts.
Vicky found a video of it. He's just wearing this weird. No, dude, his house is not what you'd expect, like a pop punk guy. Not that I'm expecting it's going to be like graffiti on the wall, but it's it's super classy.
It's very neutral. Like, there's a lot of neutral tones. You're right.
Yeah. But he's big into fireplaces, I learned. He likes having a fireplace on at all times. And my first thought was, man, the gas bill. And then I realized it's Travis Barker. He's rich as all hell. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Steve, you got to check out Jesse Pinkman. I mean, his place is. I think
is it a meth house? Because that'd be amazing.
Now I've seen it. I've watched Breaking Bad.
That's kind of
Albuquerque.
cool.
Yeah, dude, his house. I'm looking at Travis. Vicky's showing me the video of a lot of Travis's house, and he's got some good artwork. But his house, to me, is much more bland than what Aaron Paul did with his house. And again, what we're talking about is you can do it on YouTube. Architectural Digest has videos where. Basically, these people take you on, but they're the only ones talking, right? You don't really hear anybody. They just take you. It's like they're answering people's questions, but you never hear the questions asked.
It's like Cribs.
Yeah, it was exactly like Cribs.
It's like Cribs without not as cool music in the background.
And they're taking you on tour. You're right. It is a low. It's a lo-fi Cribs.
And probably not as dumb as Cribs got sometimes. I remember there was a couple of episodes where they were like,
"It was ridiculous.
We're going to interview the guys from Insane Clown Posse," and they're like, "It's our trailer."
Yeah, they went nuts.
Yeah.
The Method Man one was still my favorite, where he had a video game console on the floor.
Dude, the Tommy Lee one was my favorite.
Oh, with his own coffee, his own Starbucks.
His own Starbucks. He had that velvet room, which was all mattresses and pillows.
Basically,
and I was
like the Rev's acid room.
Yeah.
Rainbow room, sir.
My bad.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny when you talk about Tommy Lee's place, because if you watch that Cribs episode, but then you watch Pam and Tommy and you see the nightmare of him trying to create that. And then, of course, what ended up happening, because he basically just told the original contractors to go F themselves. And one of them said, "I will," by stealing a safe of yours, Tommy. So it's funny to see what Cribs showed us, and the behind the scenes of Tommy and his remodeling. That's like, wow.
Dude, the Travis Barker one, he has a ping pong table. Did you see that ping pong table?
I did.
It's like, it said it took 8 people to carry that thing into the house because it was so heavy. It's more like a marble piece of art.
Yeah.
That also happens to be like a ping pong table.
Dude, you want to talk fireplaces? Jesse Pinkman. He's got a fireplace that they had to load in by crane through. They put it in before they put the roof on. That was the only way to get it into the house.
And the whole time that I'm thinking, I'm like, Travis Barker, he has to be looking back and be like, what a crazy life I've now lived. Like, when you go from him being like this little pop punk drummer, and what was it, the Aquabats?
Yeah.
Then Blink gets rid of their drummer, asks him to join the band. He takes them to a whole other level because his style of drumming was like, I mean, it's all relative, it's all subjective, but in my opinion, way cooler than their original drummer.
Yeah.
And he made them sound just like way tighter and just brought him to the stratosphere. And now he's just playing drums for every band that wants to have like a pop punk vibe to it, from Avril Lavigne to Machine Gun Kelly. And he's there producing and recording. and he has a home studio that he could do it in.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, and especially because, I've always thought about, Blink blew up the minute he signed. It was like the album, they went from Dude Ranch to Enema of the State, and it was like, that was the album, and here he is.
And now he's with the Kardashian. He's just, what a weird adventure that guy's
which
been on.
Which Kardashian is he with?
Courtney.
Oh. Now let's see. Khloe was the one that was with a basketball player?
Courtney was the one with, Courtney was the one with Scott Disick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Courtney's now with him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just got married.
Well,
according to her, he makes the best matcha.
Yeah.
Well, listen, hopefully they have a good life. I mean,
it looks like it. At least they have a good home.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, listen, the Kardashians can have a good, they could get good homes too. So they don't need Travis Barker to get a good home.
The funny part was, though, his little home studio setup. He has an electronic drum kit. I just figured he'd have a fully soundproofed room, but it's just like...
That's probably his wake-up drum set. He probably has one that has the full room.
He made it say, at least in the video, I don't know if you were watching it, he says that's what he's used to record a lot of these records on this electronic kit. And it's a nice one. It's a top of the line, way out of my price range type of drum kit, but it's really cool.
Wow. I mean, technology these days,
it's insane.
It's way crazy.
Plus all the stuff he's put on like Avril Lavigne and Machine Gun Kelly, it's super processed, and it's a lot of studio wizardry. I don't think you need the acoustic drum set for that kind of music anyway.
Right. His Instagram makes so much more sense to me that you're showing me this episode though, because he posted pictures of his house, and I was like, why is he doing this? And I was like, oh well, he was doing it to promote the show. I get it now.
Also, look at what he's wearing. What the hell is that?
Yeah. It's a cool outfit, man. He's ready to go.
It's a cool outfit. He looks like he's a painter from space.
He looks like, to me, he looks like a Devo fan.
It's a jumpsuit.
Yeah, see, that's
he looks like
he's retro Devo. I'm digging it.
It doesn't look comfortable.
No.
I'm wearing that outfit tomorrow.
Oh God.
Well, have you seen pictures of him and his wife Courtney? They're always making out and on top of each other. I'm like, that thing is not going to get any stains. You can just wipe anything off that.
Well, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay.
Oh, the first thing when he sees her sitting on the kitchen counter, walks right up to her and they just start kissing. I'm like, okay, we could live without.
Oh, really? They put that on the show?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't need to see that. Yeah, I just want to see the house. Yeah. But Steve, be careful, because you go down a rabbit hole of all these AD shows, man.
Well, that's what happened this morning. I'm watching this, and I look down, I'm like, this is 15 minutes long, and I'm 8 minutes into it. I'm like, what am I doing with my morning? This is a really terrible waste of my time.
Dude, but I love it, man. You see these houses? If you check out Gwyneth Paltrow's joint, she's got a full-on hotel spa in her house. Where if you go to any fancy hotel and go, okay, I'm going to go just try the spa one time and splurge, that's what she has in her house. It's just nuts. And it's like, but you know what? I'm sucked in. I watched her. I watched, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. and Aaron Paul. I was just, next thing you know, Steve, there's my whole night. I'm like, my God, I spent all night long on YouTube watching these people's house videos.
It's like, man, I don't know how it's ever going to happen where I'd be able to have that kind of money. But
it's not going to.
And then I realized if I did, all I'd want is really just a little tiny pool in my backyard. I wouldn't even want to move. I just want to put a little tiny pool in the backyard because I think it'd be ridiculous and awesome.
Okay, well,
just enough to basically floating.
If you get Travis Barker money and you stay in your house and don't go somewhere else, I will be amazed.
Well, I'll buy everyone else's house in my development so I could be left alone.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, you know what you do is you buy the house to the left of you, to the right of you, maybe two down either way. You buy a couple in the back of you.
Oh, yeah, the annoying couple that does karaoke at 3 a.m. I'm buying their house in a heartbeat.
Oh, is that annoying?
Yeah.
No, shocking, right?
Yeah.
Do the damn karaoke in the house. Don't do it in the back.
They're doing it in the back.
They get drunk and they do karaoke in the backyard.
That's fantastic.
Not if you live right behind them.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I live in Tacoma.
Oh man, that's the power, is to buy out, just to be able to buy the houses away from your annoying neighbors, and you'll make it such a great deal that they have to leave. So it's not like you're even being mean. You go in and go, I'll give you 3 times the value. Get the hell out.
Right, I'll knock on their door. I'm like, I'll give you 3 times what you paid for this. And they're like, okay,
please leave now. Yeah.
Get out and leave the karaoke machine. I want to break it.
Yeah, get out. We've got the lead singer of a popular rock band that just shared that he had to quit playing video games because he became addicted to them. You'll hear from him at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. System of a Down singer Serge Tankian has done music for video games, most recently lending vocals for an upcoming game called Metal Hellsinger.
Metal Hellsinger.
But in a recent interview with Loudwire, Serge shared that he no longer plays video games because, well, he got so addicted to them.
In my early 20s, I was a gamer. I had a PlayStation and all of that stuff, and I was playing way too many NBA Jam games, and my fingers got really messed up. This is before starting touring with System of a Down and stuff. And then at one point, I realized, look, this is getting really addictive. I shouldn't be doing this. You know, I'm hurting my hands, and I need my hands to play, etc. So I stopped gaming. I'm not doing them now, but I love doing the music for them.
Man, I remember NBA Jam, being obsessed with that game too. I understand the addiction.
Dude, right?
Did you remember who you would always use?
I'd always go with Utah Jazz.
That was it Karl Malone?
It was because Stockton could always hit the threes really well.
See, I went Phoenix Suns.
Oh, no.
Charles
Really?
Barkley, baby.
Oh, man, he was a beast.
He was so damn good in that game. If I remember, didn't he? Like, you even broke the backboard.
You could do that, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man. Isn't it wild, though, that, I mean, you hear about, like, you know, addictions and whether or not, you know, he really had an addiction, but definitely playing the game was having a negative effect on his job. A lot of us could play as long as we wanted. For the most part, I think we could do our jobs, but he really couldn't do his job because of how much he played that game.
Yeah. Because he was hurting his hands.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't always play the guitar, but he does know how to play. So I'd imagine in some situations he does play the guitar.
Yeah, I know that
if you're singing, really, it don't matter if your hands are really fully working, right? I mean, not to give him an excuse for playing more video games.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs I think you can do and still be addicted to video games, because I know that when I did comedy, and man, I would play a lot of video games, and then this dude brought a handheld device with him, and it was before we'd ever seen handheld video game devices that were actually good, and I was like, whoa, they make that? I was like, well, it's like, this would be great in between sets while you're, because, once you've heard a comics act the first night, then the rest of it's the same act, and you kind of go, wow, I got hours and hours to wait until this show is over.
Right. Did you, this is going to age me, but like, you remember Atari?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And had the joystick and the one button.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Did you guys get the Atari thumb?
Oh, yeah.
Because you kind of use just the tip of your thumb to like work that top of the joystick. This sounds wrong.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually, like for Christmas, I remember we got like one of those like fancier Atari joysticks that had like more of like a rounded top.
Yes.
So it was a little bit like, it was more like more
phallic.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
Like the real thing.
It was more of a red top to it, but it was kind of like that one where it was a little less painful on the thumb.
Yeah. And the thumb trigger, boy, that was a game changer too, when you could get the Atari thumb trigger one.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that whole thing happening also. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, Vicky, it does look like an adult toy.
Yeah, it does.
I remember they coining it Nintendo thumb for a long time because people would have that same problem.
Or the little square controller.
Oh, yeah.
That little brick.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. It was a bit of a beating. But again, I could do whatever job I needed to do. But I suppose if I was like, trying to play a guitar or needing my fingers for something else, that would be a problem.
Yeah, I never was at that. Like, I love playing video games, but now I don't even have a video game thing set up. Like, if any video game, I would play Sonic the Hedgehog on my phone. And that lasts like for a couple of minutes, maybe like once a month.
Yeah.
Just like, this would be fun to play again. And I play it for a little bit and I'm like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You're right. I mean, look, I've got, the best iPad you can get right now, and there's so many games. I'm so fancy. And I look at all the games. I'm like, here's my problem with a lot of games now for your phone. All in-app purchases, which means they just want to keep bleeding me. I just want to buy the complete game and play it.
Yeah,
and
that's over, dude. It's never going to happen again.
That's how long ago it was. I'll pay the $60, but let me have everything the game has to offer.
You got to now subscribe to the monthly streaming service of the game.
Or they have seasons now where you play the game for a 3-month chunk, and then you get to start all over again with new rewards.
Which, I mean, is brilliant on their end, because if you're obsessed with a video game, you're going to want to keep updating, which means more money in their pockets, as opposed to here's $50, and you're not going to see any more of my money until you put out a brand new version of this game in like 5 years.
And I'd be a hypocrite if I'd say that's ridiculous business. I shouldn't do it, because that's exactly what Magic the Gathering did with me. It's like, you know what? You need new cards. Okay, I'll get the new cards. Yeah, it's just, that passed me by. And I don't, I'm like you, Steve. It's like, it looks pretty, but I probably don't want to play it.
Do you remember what game you were most obsessed with? Because he said it was NBA Jam.
Oh, yes, I do.
What was it?
It was a game, you might not know it, but I'm sure Rev knows it.
Leisure Suit Larry?
Well, you know what? I was obsessed with Leisure Suit Larry. You're right. The company who made Leisure Suit Larry also made games called King's Quest and Space Quest, which was a fantasy.
Yeah.
But it was the same company, Sierra Games. And but the game that I was really obsessed with, which is so funny because it was the predecessor to Warcraft. The Warcraft, I guess, did come first, but the Warcraft that everybody knows, World of Warcraft, this game was a predecessor to that as far as it was out before then. And it was a game called StarCraft.
I remember that game.
Obsessed with that game.
Because it was sci-fi, yep.
My wife got us a great vacation in the Outer Banks in North Carolina. We were living in Rochester, New York at the time. And she said, honey, the friends, we all got this beach house. And so all of the friends, our friend group, we all went down. And I was like so obsessed with my StarCraft game that she said, we can get this done. We get sitters for the kids, so we don't have to even work. And I'm saying, yeah, but I really want to play my game. So I brought my entire
I was about
computer.
to ask, did you bring it with you?
I brought the computer, which of course was the big tube. It was the tube screen, so it wasn't even a flat screen computer. The whole giant box. I brought it. I said, I'll go down, but I need to play this game. And my wife was like, wow, we're at this beautiful beach where horses run on the sand, and you are in here playing a video game.
Horses, s'morses. I could shoot lasers from this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got the Zerg. What do I need horses for?
Were you sharing like a house with the other couples? So you walk in, did anyone even say like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I did get some grief. Other people said, well, of course, BJ would be bringing his games. They knew me, and they knew that was what I was like. And I just remember telling everybody, look, I get up at 3 a.m. to do this damn show that pays for this trip. I am bringing my game. I was that guy. And so
did you wait at least like spend time with the other families, or did you wait till like everyone went to bed and then went and played the games?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Okay, a lot of yes to all of that.
So while everyone's like breaking bread, hanging out, enjoying, I might
have shut the game off to have dinner.
Okay,
that might happen. Maybe.
Which is why you're a great husband.
Yeah, dude, but you talked about obsessed. I was obsessed. That's all I could think about, and it was gorgeous. I may have walked the beach. I think maybe I don't know.
For me, it was like the Madden games, like sports games, were like always like that, or go way back, like dumb thing like Tetris when it first came out on Nintendo. That's all I wanted to play. It was just Tetris, and I always hated when my friend wanted to play Legend of Zelda because that took forever, and I was cutting into my Tetris time.
Oh yeah, you don't want that.
Right? Yeah. Danny, was it Grand Theft Auto for you?
Yeah,
because you still buy the game.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of more retro because I will, whenever they release a new Grand Theft Auto, I will play that for hours on end until I finish the story. I will never finish 100% of the game, but the story I will. But when I was a kid, for me it was 007 GoldenEye.
That was so
such a good game.
Everybody played that game.
Yeah, it was an N64, and my cousins had it, and my mom bought one for me for Christmas, and I think I didn't see the sun for at least a year after that game came out because it was just like, I want to play this game so much.
Rev, was it WoW? Is that a video game?
WoW is a video game, but it was before that, but in the same genre. It was EverQuest.
Oh, right.
This was the game where I literally spent I would spend 16 hours at a time sitting there and raiding with my guild of people, taking down fantastic monsters, dragons, and all of that stuff. Like, it was the biggest obsession. And I mean, it wasn't like, going to a beach sort of thing. And there's no way I had enough time to like do any dating or even like have any relationships at that point in time, because it was just all EverQuest all the time.
EverQuest was your girlfriend.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I even made money off of EverQuest for a summer by selling like items and money in the game, the in-game currency on a eBay type sort of website.
That's insane.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that. You know what? That's what's impressed me about you with that. And I'm not impressed by a lot of things you do, but that will always be impressive.
Especially in those days, I can't imagine it was an easy way to like easy transactions.
No, it weren't. And a lot of the times too, it's like people would sell their accounts and then take them back. Like, I would never do something like that. But it was
shady.
Yeah, it was super shady. So it was a lot of trust going on, but there was a lot of good money to be made at that point. And the fact that I could just not have to work, even though, I mean, I'm putting in so many hours into this game, it really was work.
Vicky, did you have a game?
There's been a few depending on what stage of my life. Like, the very first game I ever became obsessed with was Pokemon Silver on the old Game Boy Color. And I've tried to go back and play it, but the thing with those old cartridges is that there's a battery inside them, and once they die, you can't save the game anymore.
Oh,
so we were talking about impulsive purchases. I may have like woken up from a weird nap the other day and bought the kit to fix it. Including the battery pack. So whenever you had a Game Boy, you almost always lost the back battery pack cover.
Yes.
I also ordered one of those.
I remember that, yes.
So it will be coming in the mail tomorrow, and I will be attempting to fix my own Game Boy game.
That scratches two itches. It's
awesome.
the DIY and the Pokemon lover in you.
Right? And then we don't see Vicky for the next 2 months because she's playing Pokemon.
It's like, I'm not on my
She's got like these weird cripple hands that's going on. Like, she's like,
I hope you can really enjoy it, Vicky, because I tried to go back and play those games that I loved, and it was just like, with especially with the graphics that are out now, it's like, I just can't get into it.
When you start a game, it's so slow because you have to do all that boring stuff first to kind of at least get to a decent level. But the only other game that I was ever really obsessed with was The Sims and just creating these giant houses.
The Sims is awesome.
Like, I still have it. I don't allow myself to play it too often when I have stuff to do, because then you won't hear from me for weeks.
Yeah, I never could get it. I could never figure out how to make the Sims actually, or not. It wasn't. Sorry, it was Sim City, which was like the precursor to it. And you had to like do the towns and stuff. And I could never figure out how to get people to come to my town, so I just got frustrated and I would play Dino Park Tycoon instead.
I want to play that now.
Yes, it was so great.
Wow. Dino Park Tycoon.
Wow. Do you not remember that?
I didn't until you said it.
I remember the name, and I remember looking at it going, this looks stupid. I will never play this game.
It was
I forgot about it until you right now just said it. Yeah. Some texter said I was playing the original Halo on Xbox. Anthony Olympia.
Yeah.
I was addicted to it at age 11.
Yeah, coincidentally, the series had their season finale yesterday. And
Halo series.
The Halo series on Paramount Plus, which I ended up liking the series. I know a lot of people were saying it's nothing like the game, but I like the series, but I'm not a big Halo guy. And I'm a hypocrite because now I have to go back and watch Mortal Kombat because I was the guy going, it's nothing like the game.
Yeah, we had these arguments, and here you are now being like, it doesn't matter.
You're right. I've decided as my penance, I will go back and watch that Mortal Kombat movie, the most recent one, and see if in fact it's better than I gave it credit for, because I was a gatekeeper, because I was like, it's not the game. Because I really did. I did like Halo, the TV show that's on Paramount Plus, and hopefully you'll get to see it someday or not. And Rev, Vicky, do we know if there's a season 2 coming? Because I hope so.
Yep.
Oh, great. I'm very happy.
I hear it's supposed to be even more brutal.
Well, I mean, they've got me invested. I will say that. I'm invested in the people, so I think they did a good job. There were a couple of episodes that I could have done without, a couple of characters I could have done without, but for the most part, I liked it. So, yeah, Halo, but I remember that. I remember when Joey first started playing Halo, and it was like, wow, this looks epic.
Dude, Halo was so awesome. Master Chief. The first...
I couldn't play it. It was so sad for me.
The first one I had no problem. It was so much. It was then when it started progressing and getting more advanced with the controllers. I was like, okay, this is just... I'm getting vertigo trying to play this game.
Dude, yeah. I just could not figure it out. And that's when I realized that the video games are done for me, when I just could not figure out how to maneuver the character and shoot at the same time. It was like, wow, I can't believe I can't get my head around this. I'm old.
I remember my friends used to always give me such a hard time because I was obsessed with Madden. I would play Madden all the time. Every year I'd get the new one. Always just having a blast with it. But then when I would play my friends, they would always crush me. Like, how do you play this game so much and suck so bad at it? And I was like, well, I don't know. All I want to do is throw the long ball, man. Yeah. It doesn't even matter what's going on in the game. Like, I could be on like the 10-yard line, and I'll have like back with the Seahawks. I'll have Russell Wilson drop back like 20, 30 yards just so he could throw a Hail Mary. Like, I never used the running game. And it was just like everything was just blitz and Hail Marys.
And this is shocking to me.
Why?
Because there's NHL hockey games, and I would think that would be something that you would go to first. And the only reason I bring it up is it seems like they're really good nowadays because all Will Wheaton tweets about is his NHL, like his team that he made, which is the Kraken. He's got a Kraken team that he's made that he plays on his NHL video game.
Oh no, I play the NHL as well quite a bit, but it was something about Madden football. It was just like kind of you could chill and play, and it was. The hockey one's a lot of fun, although I would get too like nerdy with the goalie. Then you can use the goalie, and it was getting to be too much for me. But also same theory though. Give me the puck, I'm taking a slap shot. Like it was every chance I got, slap shot. It didn't matter if I just like was even in through the blue line, slap shot. Like I'd be a terrible coach in sports. In other words, I'm just go for the most exciting, sexy thing you can do and do it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be Wayne Gretzky's dad, wouldn't you?
Yes, I mean, just keep shooting.
Yeah, just keep shooting. Keep shooting, and don't listen to the other coaches about playing as a team if you want to make the NHL.
Right, screw teamwork.
It is weird though. I mean, the only reason I follow it is, I like Will Wheaton, but he's an LA Kings fan, but he decided that he loved the Kraken so much that the team that he's made when he plays his NHL video game is a Kraken team with a guy named Blaine Gretzky instead of Wayne Gretzky.
That's great.
And that's his star player. And he throws it on his Facebook stories, which I think, you know what? I mean, there are people that throw stuff on Facebook. You go, do I really need to hear this or that or whatever? And the thing is Will's like, hey, here's what's going on with my fake hockey team. And I'm
Which is funny because Wayne Gretzky does have a brother that did play for a cup of coffee in the NHL. It's Brent Gretzky.
Yeah.
Which I love about that documentary about the Danbury Trashers, the team that was owned by a mobster. That was a great documentary. They signed Brent Gretzky and we're saying the Trashers got Gretzky, and then eventually like Brent Gretzky. I was like, oh, that's good marketing.
So it's like Ozzie Canseco. It's just like, wow, he's the brother and just couldn't figure it out, huh?
I think it was Brent. It was either Brent or Keith. One of them. I'm pretty sure it was Brent though. That was the one that played the Trashers.
So isn't that wild that you've the one family member just figures it out and ends up making it happen, and then you get the whole Ripken family where the grandfather, the father, and the two sons were all able to make the major leagues.
Yeah, dude, that's a tough one to be in the shadow of Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's why. And like the Cansecos, they were twins, and they allegedly took the same steroids. And it was like, how is it that the twins doing the same exact thing, and you just don't? One has such a better performance than the other one. Well, that's what really gets me is they're twins.
Have you seen the documentary Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Yeah, you're right.
One was Arnold, one was Danny.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's always got to be that parody.
I feel like that's not a documentary, but I got it.
No, it totally is.
Yeah, I don't.
Based on a true story, I think.
Is it?
True
okay,
story.
Great. Oh man. I got a time. What time are we, Danny? What time are we breaking? Because I feel
We're
like
3 minutes behind right now.
Yeah, I have a wrong thing. That's why I was like,
well, that's a personal problem that you don't need to share on the air.
Okay, I'm glad I asked. I'm glad I asked because I looked down and I'm like, holy crap! I've got to fill another 20 minutes. I don't think that's right.
Go.
All right. Well, in that case, let's talk about Steve, who yesterday did get this one right.
Finish the title of the Sheryl Crow song. All I want to do is what?
Zoom, zoom, zoom. In your room, just shake your rump.
No.
All I want to do is have some fun.
Yes.
Man, I'm such a good singer.
So is that, that's what I was thinking.
Best.
I was thinking exactly that statement. Hey, would you like a shot at beating Steve? All right, you got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I figure out who my creditors are?
People a lot of times have had a long time of not having good credit and having collections, and so they're concerned that You may be concerned that you won't be able to find all your creditors if you file bankruptcy. How will I know which collection agency has my credit card bill from 10 years ago now? And that's something that's hard to keep track of because credit collection agencies transfer your debts all over the place. But we will pull all your credit bureaus, and by getting all three of your credit bureaus, we'll be able to tell who has your credit and debt now, which collection agencies have had it in the past, and we'll make sure that we file all your creditors when we file your bankruptcy so that nothing slips through the cracks.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.